Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I noticed that NATO member states, especially the United States of America, Al Capone, they don't like when other countries form alliances or organizations. Of course, it's obvious why, because when you form an organization outside of the world order, then that could create problems. Unity among countries and organizations where you have all kind of how do you call it? I don't want to say contracts because that's not the word. Between countries, you signed all kind of treaties and agreements that could impose be a harder nut to crack. In this case, we have the Belarusian president, Alexander Lukashenko, and he is not an idiot, this guy. I mean, he might look a little bit rough at the edges, but I think he's very, very witty. And he's got balls, that's for sure. He's got big balls. So he proposes that Russia, Belarus, and North Korea should form an alliance, a three-way cooperation. So I have here the same subject covered by two articles, two media outlets, and I will start with the Associated Press first, just to build some credibility or lose some. Here it is. And Belarus leader proposes three-way cooperation with Russia's Putin and North Korea's Kim. And I'm going to go to one country where the freedom of speech is very, very, very much respected. I heard is the most freedom of speech you might have is this country right here, which is Canada. Obviously just kidding. Belarus leader proposes three-way cooperation with Putin and North Korea's Kim. Putin is looking like, what are you saying here? Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted a meeting Friday with his Belarusian ally, who suggested that Minsk could join Moscow's effort to revive an old alliance with Pyongyang after this week's summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un / Woodchuck. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko made the proposal as he met with Putin in the Black Sea resort of Sochi, where the Russian leader said he would brief him about the talks with Kim on Wednesday at the Vostochny spaceport in Russia's Far East. I would like to inform you that the discussions on the situation in the region, which was quite important, and also to touch on the most acute issue, the situation in Ukraine, end quote, Putin said at the start of the meeting. Lukashenko responded by saying that, and I'm quoting, "We could think about three-way cooperation," end quote, adding that I think a bit of work could be found for Belarus to do there as well. Okay, good for you. Kim on Friday continues his trip by visiting boo. The US and its allies no such thing as allies, partly gang to rob someone, and then the leader of the gang will distribute the loot to the other weasels. That's what it is. The US and its weasels believe that Al Capone and his minions, maybe sounds better, that Kim will likely supply ammunition to Russia for use in Ukraine in exchange for receiving advanced weapons or technology from Moscow. Did you hear? So now the Russians have advanced weapons and technology. You can't make shit up. Make up your mind, guys. On one hand, Russia has rusty, ugly military and loser S-400s and Sukhois and MiGs and Kalibr and Kinzhaus and whatever the other one is, Iskander, and all of a sudden, receive advanced weapons and technology. Now make up your fucking minds, you liars. A deal that would violate the UN sanctions against Pyongyang that ban any arms trade with North Korea. Yeah. Okay, and the Russians will be like, there you go. So Putin said after meeting Kim that Russia will abide by the UN sanctions, and he reaffirmed the pledge Friday. I'm quoting, we are quoting, "We never violate anything, and in this case we have no intention to violate anything," end quote. Well, they're gonna say bullets, we're gonna call them suppositories, the ones that you stick in your ass when you're sick. So they will say bullets are gonna be labeled euphemistically suppositories, the ones that you stick in your ass when you're sick of something, you know. It how do you call it, dissipates the chemicals faster, absorbs through the anus. Maybe some people know more about that than we do, but anyway. So here well, this is empty, so what do you want? All right, so some good wine, homemade, mine, like that. Your father. Anyway, so here we have, he says we're not gonna violate anything because we're gonna call the bullets suppositories, and we're gonna use rockets as, I don't know, something, cactus. All right, Putin's meeting with Lukashenko was theirs 7th this year. Lukashenko, who was beep, beep, beep. Okay, well, we'll find out, my friends. But again, see, these guys claim that North Koreans have squat. They have nothing is good over there but their dictatorship, since it's still in power and functional somehow. And nothing else is working over there. But all of a sudden they are concerned that those guys will supply some suppositories to the Russians in return for some advanced technological and blah, blah, blah. My friends, these guys are weasels. But again, if you went around the block, even if you went halfway, not even one time or many, many times, if you do that, these guys cannot sell you garbage as they try. Because that means you're kind of up to date with things, and you have to memorize information that you read. When you read, you have to memorize it and form patterns. By forming patterns, you're going to understand future decisions, the actions, behavior. Past behaviors can, how do you call it, tell you about the future behavior, predict future behavior. The same here. These guys are doing the same thing. If when they're winning, the opponent is this, when they're losing, the opponent is that. The same here. Now make up your minds. The Russians have good technology or they have no technology. And again, make up your mind. The North Koreans have some good weapons and good ammunition, or they don't. A lot or no. And then you go on. It's not circumstantial. These guys are using these kind of things. Well, here we're going to use it this way. The same information or same notion of weapons or technology, we're going to use it differently here. No, they don't have anything. But hey, here they have a lot. They're very advanced over here. And the Russians are advanced. I mean, after all, they're in space, my friends. They successfully send rockets over there. And they, sent the, how do you call it, International Space, I don't know if they're still International Space Station and so on. So they're not, baboons. These guys make you think that they are like in Stalin's time or something. And remember, Stalin, with his sins that he had a lot, he pushed towards certain, goals. And one of that was we're going to get an atomic bomb. And they got it eventually. Otherwise, they would have been at the realm of those guys who dropped 2. So they had no problem dropping in Russia. Remember, they had the U-2s, the surveillance, the spy planes that the Russians could not destroy until 1961 or 62, when they downed 2, I think. And the Americans being so certain that, no, they did. And they showed the guy, the pilot on the TV, and then the Vienna meeting between Khrushchev and JFK was cancelled because of that, because the Americans were, you turn the flashlight on and the guy is taking a shit in the middle of the woods with his pants down, and that's what happened. So anyway, there are certain things, and at 61, 62, I'm not talking about 53 when Stalin died. I think it was 53. Anyway, 53, 54, 53, I think it was the 5th of March. Was it? Yeah, the 5th of March, and he was born, I think, in 21st or 21st, I think, of December, was he? Anyway, my friends, so this is what's going on here. They will have a threesome Why not? NATO has a 30 some. That's a lot. They have an orgy. NATO has an orgy. These guys have a threesome. So they still have to work at it, like with the suppositories. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.